Hi, Asemahle. Thank you so much for your question. I do understand that there is a bit of a problem with the app and how it works in terms of graphing the putting the points on the graph. So I'm hoping that's not a problem for you in this particular case. But we're just going to look at the question that you sent in, and we just need to remember that in this particular case, when we want to write our formula in vertex form, because this isn't actually vertex form, this is standard quadratic form. If we want to write it in vertex form, we have to write it as y is equal to some number a multiplied by x plus p squared plus q. That is vertex form. And the vertex that it's going to give us will be right here. It will be that number, p and q. Those two numbers are the ones that are going to give us the answers we're looking for. Now, when we are doing something like this, we need to remember that in order to find p and q in this particular case, we have to complete the square. Remember, when we are completing the square, we look at ax squared. We're going to look at ax squared plus bx plus c, and we need to make sure that this is a perfect square in order for us to get that number. And how we can do that is if we take c and we redefine it. So we're going to write c as b over 2 all squared, and that's going to make sure that we get that perfect square we're looking for in order to complete the square. So let's jump straight into it. If we want to write now x minus 2 and x minus 6 as a perfect square or in vertex form, what we're going to do is we're going to first expand these two brackets. So we're going to use the FOIL method and get a whole trinomial rather than two separate binomials. So we're going to start with first x squared, x multiplied by x, and then x multiplied by negative 6 will give me negative 6x. Negative 2 multiplied by x is negative 2x, and then negative 2 multiplied by negative 6 is positive 12. So now that's what we've got there. Let's clean it up a little bit, add like terms. We're going to get x squared minus 8x plus 12. All right, so now we've got an equation, but it's not exactly a perfect square. So we're going to turn it into a perfect square and see what happens in this case. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared minus 8x. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep a huge gap there, and I'm going to write plus 12 over here because we're going to make space right over here for the new number that's going to go in there for our new c. Because we've got our ax squared and our bx, now we need to find our c. All right, so we're going to use this very formula that we've just defined over here. So in order to find c, we need to write b, which in this case is negative 8. So we're going to get negative 8 divided by 2, all of this squared. Now we know negative 8 divided by 2, that's going to give us negative 4 squared, and that is equal to 16. So our new c, or the new number that comes in here, will be plus 16. Now, just so that I balance, because this plus 16 seems like it's just come out of nowhere, what I'd need to do is I'd also have to subtract 16 just to balance it out, to make sure that the equation still counts the same. So I'm going to add in here minus 16, because what we're actually going to get is plus 16 minus 16. That basically means I've added 0. I've just added kind of a funky little 0 in a sense. Okay, so now I can write this as a perfect square. If I have to now factorize this, I'm going to get two brackets, and I'm going to get x in this bracket, x in that bracket, and in order for me to get 16 and negative 8, I can use negative 4, right? So negative 4 and negative 4. So now I've got the same number twice. I've got the same number twice in brackets, which means I can use one bracket squared. It's kind of like x times x, that would give me x squared. So x minus 4 times x minus 4, that's just going to give me x minus 4, all in brackets, squared. But now what do I have left over? Remember, I've still got plus 12 minus 16. I've still got this. I've got to add this in here. So if I take plus 12 and I minus 16, I'm going to get negative 4. And that is actually the answer we're looking for. If we look at that, this is now actually in vertex form. This part here is written in vertex form, and we can now find the two coordinates that we're looking for in terms of our vertex form, in terms of P and Q. And in this case, our vertex is equal to, if x minus 4 is equal to 0, then that means our x will be equal to 4 and our y will be equal to -4. All right, and that's how we find the vertex. So we know that our axis of symmetry, or our turning point on our graph, is at 4 and -4. So we can move our graph and plot that point. Now, this in particular is a bit of a tricky situation. It's a tricky concept, but we do need to remember how to complete the square. So I would encourage you to go back onto Adobe and look for some exercises on completing the square. Get very used to that, because they're very, very important when we're doing quadratics. They are a big part of it. And also just practicing these and practicing how to find the vertex, that would be very helpful in this case. All right, that's all that we're going to do for now. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to send them our way. Okay? Bye.